and just feeds the pole or the poles in your hands.
Sienten los palos en tus manos.
Feeling, could I have my pole so that I don't have to push into it?
Podría tener mis
And
palos.
I can let it stand instead of pressing it down on the floor. Well, I just feel how do I have to be with the pole that it can easily stand. Both can easily stand.
¿Cómo debo estar con los palos para que los dos puedan pararse
And
fácilmente?
go with your hands there where it's easiest for you to touch the poles.
Vas ahí con tus manos donde está más fácil para ti tocar los palos.
And then very gently lift both poles a little bit, very little away from the floor.
Suavemente levante los palos un poquito.
So that the poles come to hanging.
Para que lleguen a colgarse.
Very gently.
Muy suavemente.
And very gently let it, so gentle that you do not feel really whether it's standing or not. You let it come to standing again.
Muy suavemente permites que llegue a pararse otra vez. Tan suavemente que no estás seguro que está parado.
And just feel how it feels when the pole or the poles stand on the floor and not pressing on the floor.
Sienten los palos cuando están parados, no presionan.
And you could learn from the pole how it's standing for your own standing. Are you standing on the floor or pressing into the floor?
No estás presionando al piso.
If you press even the slightest bit, renew your standing.
Si estás presionando, sí, poquitito,
Learn from the pole.
renuevas cómo estás parado. Aprendes del palo.
So I'm using this sound, and I would like you to work a little with your, work a little with your poles through the room. Just carrying the poles with you. Yeah.
Voy a usar este sonido. Quiero que empiecen a caminar por el cuarto, llevando tus palos contigo.
When you hear my bell, you very gently let both poles come to standing.
Cuando oigan la campana, suavemente permites que los dos palos.
You work a little with. Yeah. When you hear my bell, you very gently allow both poles to come to standing.
Cuando oigas la campana, suavemente permites que los
Take time for it.
palos lleguen a pararse. Toma tiempo para eso.
So that really the pole gives its weight, both poles give their weight to the floor.
Para que verdaderamente
You only hold it lightly in your hands.
los dos palos ofrecen su peso.
When you hear the bell again, you gently lift the pole a little bit from the floor and carry it on until you hear my bell again.
Cuando hagan la campana, suavemente quites los palos del piso y empieces a caminar otra vez hasta que oigas la campana otra vez.
Take your time for every bit.
Toma su tiempo para cada palo.
Letting the poles gently come to standing.
Permitiendo que los palos suavemente lleguen a pararse.
And you distinguish between pressing your poles down and letting them just come to standing.
Y vas distinguiendo la diferencia entre presionando tus palos hasta el piso o permitiendo que lleguen a pararse.
It's too much. Feeling the weight of my poles, and then when you hear the bell again, letting gently your poles come to standing.
Sintiendo el peso de
Take your time.
los palos y permitiendo que lleguen suavemente para llegar a pararse.
And each one of us feels what happens in him or her in this experiment. Maybe very different things happen.
Cada persona siente lo que ocurre adentro de
What happens when I can lift the poles away?
¿Qué ocurre cuando levantas los palos fuera del piso?
Take your time. Letting your poles gently come to standing.
Tomando su tiempo, permitiendo que tus palos suavemente lleguen a pararse.
When you touch them too high, you go lower.
Cuando estás tocándolos demasiado para arriba, vas para abajo con las manos.
How lifting the pole from the floor a little up so it comes to hanging. How does it affect me inside?
¿Cómo me afecta?
And carrying it, how does it affect me inside?
¿Cómo me afecta?
And when it comes down, that it actually stands. And we don't have to hold it tight at all.
Cuando llegue a pararse, nosotros no tenemos que mantenerlo apretado.
So breathing, awake for the pulse in
Respiración.
your hands.
Está despierta para los palos en tus manos.
And what happens when you lift the pulse a little bit so they hang in your hands and you can walk with them?
¿Qué sucede cuando levantas los palos un poquito para que se puedan colgar en el aire y vas caminando con ellos?
Take your time, letting them come to standing. Not holding them tightly.
Tomas tu tiempo, permites que
You let them stand.
pararse, permites que están parados, no que lo estás agarrando apretado.
And you feel your pulse in your hands. You can feel the attraction of the floor to the pulse, how gravity makes your pulse come to hanging, how much energy you need to carry the pulse in spite of gravity pulling it down. And when you hear my bell again, very slowly, gently, letting it come to standing. And what happens? The room is large. And everything you become conscious of is important.
Cada cosa, si sientes conciencia de esta cosa es importante.
Coming to standing, not falling down or pushing down, coming to standing.
Llegando a estar parado, no empujando para abajo ni cayendo, llegando a estar parado.
The energy needed to lift the poles from the pull of gravity
La energía que es necesario
and carry them in the air
para levantar los palos en contra de la pull of gravity.
gradually letting them come to standing. He said standing, are they standing, or do I let them come to standing?
Están parados, los permite
Where's
estar
standing?
parados. ¿Dónde está? Está parado.
How do I stand and how do I let the poles stand?
¿Cómo me paro yo y cómo permito que se paren los palos?
The amount of energy needed to lift the poles away from the floor and carry them. Yeah. And lift your poles a little higher,
Levanta los palos un poco más.
just a little higher. And go with them very gently. And letting them gradually, when you hear the bell, come to standing.
Permites que gradualmente lleguen a pararse cuando oigan la campana.
Take your time. Where is standing for my poles?
¿Dónde está estar parado para mis palos?
How much energy is needed to lift them away from the floor when you walk with them?
¿Qué tanta energía es necesario levantarles fuera del piso cuando empiezas a caminar con ellos?
Yes. And without disturbing your experiences about what is happening, I would like everybody to find a place and lie down, feeling also how during this lying down and after lying down, in lying, what happens in you.
Sin estorbar lo que está haciendo ahorita, me gustaría que puedan encontrar un lugar para acostarse y sentir lo que está sucediendo adentro de ti.
Every moment is a moment. And in coming to lying and in lying, you might still feel the effect of the fact that you have been carrying the pearls. But needs to recover energy. What happens? And some of you might feel more distinctly now how the energy renews itself, how breathing happens, but without that you do it.
Quizás pueden sentir ahorita como
Just allow what happens by itself.
cómo va la energía y la respiración. No se puede renovar sin que tú lo hagas, solamente que sucede solo.